All right, folks, a couple of questions came out for Tom a couple of weeks ago and we're just getting around to going over them. So Tom, the question was, with the single arm landmine press kneeling on one knee, is the goal to press straight up from the shoulder or is there a lateral movement?
So let's just start by saying that it doesn't matter whether you're kneeling or not, that's just a different variation. When you're kneeling, it takes the hip out of the equation a little bit more so you don't extend at the spine. So you could do the same thing standing, but kneeling again just makes it harder to lean back / easier to pull your rib cage in, however you want to look at it. The question about whether you go straight up is going to depend on a few different things. If you got a really healthy shoulder, everything moves wonderfully. In other words, you can push a barbell over your head very comfortably. You're probably going to be moving straight up and down because the shoulder blade is already going to be able to move in that pattern. Chances are, if you're using the landmine, it's because you're not great at putting a barbell over your head. So in that case, yes, the elbow may flare out slightly because of what that's going to do is encourage the shoulder blade to rise. So from the back, what you can see is as my elbow goes out, my shoulder blade instantly wants to rise. So from there, if my elbow comes out slightly, and then from there I can press in a sort of a small curve, if you will, it's going to encourage my shoulder blade to rise and fall more so than if I go in a straight line. And what that also might encourage you to do is get into a little bit more overhead flexion versus getting to here and then jamming ourselves forward, which isn't necessarily going to promote that overhead position that we're seeking. So the answer is it depends, but chances are if you're on the landmine, it's because you struggle with that overhead position. So it's okay to have that slight flare come out because it's going to help move the shoulder blade.
Cool, and then I guess another question with that was, what is like the purpose of the landmine apparatus in general?
So again, the big purpose of the landmine is it allows you to move laterally and vertically from a fixed point. So when we do like the landmine rotations, it's easy to fix the bar into a specific spot, and we can move, like I said, laterally and vertically with the same tool, basically. With a barbell, you could obviously do that, but because it's not fixed somewhere, you have to have much more control over it. Same thing again, why we use it for the landmine is I could do it with a dumbbell, but it requires me to have a lot more control because of the stability is far greater. In the landmine, because there's a fixed point, it's easier for me to kind of, hey, this is where it's fixed, and I can move around that fixed point.
Sweet.